Hello, everyone. Hola, mundo. Welcome, world, and welcome to Voces Poderosas 2023. I'm Jackie Bouvier, and I'm shining the light on our nation's most powerful and amazing Hispanic Latinos that are moving and shaking the nation. And I'm creating a movement as well that is inspiring and empowering the Latinidad through powerful and influential voices. Voces Poderosas is a transformative mini series that features trailblazers, spearheads, catalysts, and pioneers. These professionals have insightful wisdom that will inform, empower, and catapult you and I to the next level of success and empowerment. This is the Hispanic Heritage Month edition. And today I have the honor, the pleasure, and I consider her my amiga, my friend, someone I've met years ago that I just look up to and I adore, and I just want to be like when I grow up. And I want to introduce to you Jenny Sevilla Korn, Senior Advisor to the National Faith Advisory Board and former Deputy Assistant to the President at the White House. She is truly, truly someone to admire and learn from and just follow. I mean, today I'm just excited to hear more about her story, who she is. In Voces Poderosas, we are just highlighting Latinos that are sharing their stories. So, Jenny, what are you? Who are you? What is your story? What does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you? And tell me, what is the cultural aspect of it? How do you align with Hispanic Heritage Month? And I always say this, me as Salvadoreña, the pupusas, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone aligns that way because even though we speak Spanish or we're Hispanic or Latinos, we're different generations and different cultures and different food. But tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me your story. I'd love for everyone to hear your story. So welcome, Jenny, to Voces Poderosas.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Your joy is so infectious. I'm like, I want to interview you right now. I'm so glad that you're doing this and you're highlighting leaders from around the country in this amazing country of ours and our culture during Hispanic Heritage Month. It's so wonderful to be an American, but to also have the roots for me in Mexico. My grandparents and my mom were born in Mexico. They were out of a little town in Tocolotlan, which is in Jalisco. And when my grandparents were very young, they started to trek across Mexico and finally made it to Tijuana. And my mom was about 7 years old, and my grandfather came on the bracero program. So he was really good at making shoes, leather shoes, and so he could make some chanclas that they're just beautiful. But he came over, did 3 years, back and forth, and then was able to bring the whole family over. A Navy admiral sponsored them. And my mom was only 7, but she remembers that he said, we're so happy to sponsor you. We only ask 2 things of you. One, that you really work hard, and 2, that you try not to go get on government assistance. And they took that all to heart. They all graduated from high school, which was a really big deal. And then me and my cousins were the first generation to then go on to college. And so I was born in East LA. People love that, at Boyle Heights. And then I got a scholarship, academic scholarship, went to Pepperdine University, where a whole world was opened up to me. In my political science class, the professor said, you can either sit here and learn about the class, or you can go out there and volunteer. And so he urged us to volunteer. And I got firsthand experience on how much you can actually do, how one person can affect an election, affect a community. I would go door to door, knocking on doors and doing phone banking for candidates. And I was able to see that if I explained myself and I communicated well, I could have someone vote for my candidate. So I thought, what would happen if I got 10 people to do that? And then those 10 people got more people to do that. And I got hundreds of people out there. You could truly move a policy, you could truly move a candidate to win elections. And so that's what I did. I ran local elections here in California for many years, and then was chosen to run on the national level, and I ran the Viva Bush campaign in 2004. And so that was, talk about an experience. You had this little girl from East LA going on the national level, but here's what I never forgot is the community. So going into the community, making sure they're registered to vote, making sure they're educated on the issues, making sure they get out to vote, because you can be registered and then you still don't vote, right? And then working on policy, on the economy, making sure Latinos had jobs, that the poverty level would go down, the median income would go up. So just working with Hispanic business leaders, Hispanic faith leaders, any part of the community. And as you said, we are so uh, different, diverse in our Hispanic community from every part of so many different countries. And people would think, who are not Hispanic, oh well, tacos are in every country. No, they are not in every country. They are original to Mexico. But then ended up working for at the White House twice, and then working at the Department of Justice, which was amazing, for the first Latino Attorney General ever in history. And then in this last few years, moved back from Washington, D.C. My husband was in the Marine Corps, so we moved around, but moved back to California. That's where I'm now. And I'm senior advisor for the National Faith Advisory Board. And part of that is Latinos. When well, since I was a little girl, I was at the stove with my mom and my abuelita, making a big pot of beans, making chile verde, making tortillas from masa. And even though I didn't marry a Latino, he's very good at making corn tortillas from scratch. So I have to say that. And pozole is one of my favorite meals. But when I was in elementary school, we had a talent show, and my mom taught me how to dance the jarabe. And so for about 3 or 4 years, I danced the jarabe at the school talent show. And so putting the sequins on the dress of the eagle and the snake in the eagle's mouth. I mean, all of that is just beautiful. Our music, our food, and just the love, and the language as well. So it means a great deal to me. But means a great deal to me that I can be an American with Mexican roots and be able to celebrate that here in our country. Melting pot. America's a melting pot. So you get to be who you want to from whatever country you came from, still be an American, but still have those amazing cultural roots. And then we get to share that, right? We get to taste other people's foods, watch other people's music and dancing. And it's so great that we have that diversity in our country. And so I think it's wonderful. And the one really great thing I was able to do is bring, during Hispanic Heritage Month, during the many years I was at the White House, to the White House. So bring the mariachis, to bring different musics from every different country, from even we had people from Costa Rica, we had people from Venezuela, from every part. I wanted to make sure Hispanic Heritage Month is all Hispanics, right? To make sure everybody's represented, but to be able to bring the music, the food, and again, just the people together during this month. That was really special.
And the trajectory that you've chosen. And I think that at this point, I'd like to know a little bit more of how you can share with us professionally in your area of experience, right? In your, I would say, industry. How, how can you help encourage or empower someone and shed light on a professional Latinos? Like, what experience that you go through that you'd be like, this is what you need to know, From my professional experience, this is a gap we still need to bridge, or this is what we still need to achieve as Latinos, or this is what I should have known that I didn't know that I wish you know.
Wow, we do a whole hour on that one. Um, there's so many things. One is working hard. No one, I mean, there's some people who get handed something, but like no one's gonna just hand you the job, hand you the opportunity. You've got to make sure that whatever it is that you want to do, that you work really hard and that you network. Don't ever be afraid to go up to someone and go, oh, I can't go up to them because they're this title or that title. And that could go for the medical field, the political field. It doesn't matter. Even a pastor, you don't think like, oh, well, they're, very famous. I can't talk to them. Don't be afraid to go up and speak to someone and say, you know what? I really want an opportunity. Will you let me be, will you be my mentor? Or can I be an apprentice for this? Or can you teach me how to do that? Can I take you to a coffee and can you give me advice on what to do? So sometimes, especially me as a young person, to be like, oh, I can't really go up and talk to somebody. No, And now, as I've learned later, no, they're people. We're all people. The worst they can say is no or be rude, which is fine. But most of the time, you'll find that people want to help you. So um, I think also follow up. So let's say you have a meeting with someone or you go to an event, and um, make sure that you're following up with everybody you met and say, it was so nice to meet you. This is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. You never know when in the future you might be able to coordinate with a person in the same field, even if you're going in different directions or you're at different levels. So following up with people in career is really good. If you say you're going to do something, do it. So, and if
Yeah.
you're not going to do it, don't say it. It's better to, what is it, overperform, or to, yeah, or basically say that you're gonna do this and then you do more, rather than say, well, I'll be able to do the best, and then you under deliver. So you want to make sure that you overperform. And I think we need to give ourselves a little bit of breathing room when you make a mistake or when you don't get to that level. So people look at me and we're gonna watch this interview, right, and go, wow, she worked for presidents and for the attorney generals. But I can tell you about that time I didn't get the job with a local assembly member, or I can tell you that time that I didn't win a campaign and I didn't have a job for a few months. So we all go through ups and downs. So you have to give yourself a little bit of breathing room when something doesn't go your way, and go pick yourself up, dust yourself off, take a breath, and then go, what's the next step?
And yeah, I've said this a couple of times, maybe just two, and I just am so excited, but more than anything, I don't know if starstruck is the word. It's more like in awe of you because of everything that you have accomplished and done. And I've always looked up to you, and I've always seen you as a distant mentor and sometimes a close-up net mentor, depending on the times of the years.
Oh, you're so sweet.
But you're always doing something in a positive way and always helping others. So I think that's very good, and I appreciate that. And I'd just like to ask if you have any last words, any advice or anything that you'd like to share.
Sure. Well, first, thank you, Jackie, for having me on here, but also for doing this. I can't wait to see the other interviews that you do. I just love this country. Has so many opportunities. My mom, as I was saying, was 7 when she came over, and she said the most beautiful thing to her was the American flag waving against the blue skies in San Diego, and how excited she was that her feet didn't get dirty. And I said, or her shoes didn't get dirty. And I said, your shoes, Mom? What? She goes, yes, because all the roads here are, paved over, the sidewalks and the roads, because she came from a very poor family. And so I always think about that. And I think about my uncles who went into the military and then obviously ended up marrying my husband, who was in the Marine Corps for 22 years. People who will sacrifice their lives and their time to protect this country. So I would say, for those who don't have to do that, let's take advantage of the opportunities that this country has given us. Be appreciative for what we have. And for those who are people of faith, I'm a very strong woman of faith, to thank God for the blessings that we all have. We're all going to have downs in life, but we've got to get through those and appreciate the ups. And the other thing, sorry, this is one other thing, because you were talking about coming up the ranks. One of the things that I've definitely made sure I did was to see in the Latino community, those who helped me, those younger people who were volunteers, who could I hire? Who could I give jobs to? Who could I help give a recommendation to for another job or to get into school? So I suggest, if you're in that situation, to help those who are coming up the ranks, look down that ladder and offer a hand, and make sure that because there were the people above you that helped you to come up as well. So that's
That's
that's all. And happy Hispanic Heritage Month to all my amigos and amigos out there in the United States. And again, Jackie, thank you for having me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I love that. What a blessing to listen to your story, your insights, and how wonderful of a journey you've had. It's just tremendously inspiring and to help others become what they were meant to be, right? Just to listen to you, it should and will inspire so many out there, and it's inspiring me. Your voice is powerful and you're willing to share. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you are making a difference. And I appreciate you being on Voces Poderosas 2023. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.